it's just easier to disrespect Nigerian players. We saw it with what Napoli did with Osimhen. We are seeing it now with Lookman. What you've done does not matter. I say, what have you done for me lately, business? In that same game, Atalanta's captain, the captain of the team, Rafael Toloi, was acting like a thug. The only thing not is to throw up gang signs.
Atalanta have been knocked out of the Champions League knockout phase by Club Brugge, losing 3-1. But the headline stealer was Ademola Lookman's missed penalty and the words that Atalanta coach Gasperini had to say about this after the match, which of course has caused a lot of controversy online because it's a kind of callback to the kind that happened with Victor Osimhen at Napoli. So of course, we are here on Crossfire, brought to you by Live Scorebet. I am Anishilowo, Jimmy Anishilowo, and I'm here with Tunde and Tosin to discuss whether, one, if Ademola Lookman was right to take the penalty, and two, whether the coach was right to see what he said after the match. So Tunde, let's start with Ademola Lookman. Do you think he was right to take the penalty, given that he was not the regular penalty taker?
Is Atalanta's best player right to take the penalty in a game where they needed to come back? In a game where he came off the bench and instantly reminded everybody why he's their best player with a goal within 35 seconds. Was he right to take a penalty? What I need to ask you is, was the coach, first of all, right for not starting him? Even though everybody will say, yes, he's come back from injury. Was the coach, second of all, right to not thank him for scoring the goal that got them back into the game? Thirdly, was the coach right, third of all, to have the gumption, the gall, the temerity to question Ademola Lookman for missing a penalty, as if missing penalties are not part of the game? Yes, Ademola Lookman missed the penalty, but he's also scored penalties. Is there any rule that says only one person must take penalty? And you say he's not the penalty taker, fine. Who is the penalty taker? A certain guy named Matteo Retegui, the top scorer in Italian Serie A, yes. But I certainly remember Retegui missing the penalty in this Champions League campaign against Arsenal. Missed the penalty, missed the rebound, and the game ended goalless. So, like, what are we talking about? Anybody can miss a penalty. You don't, after the game, then divert the attention to one guy and say, oh, you are the reason we lost this game because you missed the penalty. The game where they lose 3-0 at halftime to Club Brugge. Like, if you as Atalanta are getting touched anyhow against your way, anyhow, they fondle them in front of their own fans. Nothing happened. First half, Club Brugge knocked them. 2 minutes, knocked them again. 3-0 at halftime. But Lookman is your problem. So was Lookman the one in goal that considered the 3 goals? No, this doesn't make any sense to me. Absolutely, he has every right to want to take a penalty because he's taking penalties and he scored them. Doesn't mean he's not missed them as well. Who has not missed penalties? Even Lionel Messi. Who has not, except for maybe Copama, but who has not missed penalty? Everybody takes penalties. Everybody, if you take enough penalties, at some point you will miss. So you can't then put the brunt of the responsibility and say you shouldn't have taken the penalty. You have been scored, and why would they lose 3-0 for halftime? Well, no, it doesn't make any sense to me. So I think yes. And you should not even stop Lookman from wanting to take penalty again. If you get another penalty, collect ball. collect ball. If you sky him, you sky him. If you score it, you score it. That's how I see it. I'm never going to blame a good player for trying to take penalty. The emphasis on good player. It's not the one that anonymous will now run and carry for and say, Tunde said, if I play where I can. No, because I know this Chelsea boy is nonsense. I like letting them know. Because it just when Palmer and Jackson were fighting about penalty. Palmer, that as he played penalty, was in the womb. Jackson just wake up one day and say he wants to take penalty. I've never even scored open net. You want to score penalty. So that's how you can see that one. Obviously, you'll be wrong. But like, Lookman he's even taking penalties for Atalanta recently, and so I don't think this should be an issue. It's only an issue because he missed that one, and it happens. It's part of the game. All
right. So Tosin, what about you? Do you think that he was right to have wanted to take the penalty?
Ademola Lookman was wrong to take that penalty. He was absolutely wrong. And I know there's a lot of lawlessness in Nigeria. The structure of discipline is broken in the fabric of the society of Nigeria. Because if discipline is not a problem, if structure is not a problem, there are organized ways of doing things. It's like saying the coach wants to change the name of the stadium. Does that make any sense to you? Does that make any sense to you? It's like there's like everything has, you have your duty. Like it's like you have the board of directors, you have the front office, you have the coach, you have the medical staff, you have then to the players. Like it's like the sporting director coming to go and treat the players that are injured. Does that make any sense? Everybody have their own role and their duty on the team. They say this is the penalty taker, that is the penalty taker, let it be. Let there be structure. Let there be orderliness. Let there be discipline. Discipline. Important. And Ademola Lookman is one of my favorite players. One of my favorite players. What he has done while I was campaigning that Ademola Lookman should win African Footballer of the Year, some people here were talking about Sergio Guresi on this show, but we are not going to see anything.
What does that have to do with
We're not going to say so. You know my affinity and my love for Ademola Lookman and his style of play. But let me tell you the thing about life is this: the ability to go from a hero to a villain. It's like this. It's like this. In your lowest moments, people won't remember what you have done. They will focus on what the problem is. And that is just what happened in this situation. What would it cost Ademola Lookman to let Tegui take that penalty? And if he misses or he makes the penalty, you see, football is a business, it's a sport. Now, it comes with a lot of emotions. But as the case is with every business, whatever role you are supposed to fill that role. And do it to the best of your ability. Do not go outside the confines of that established authority. And in this particular case, Ademola Lookman was wrong. Right. If he asked for the penalty and he's not the penalty taker designated, he was wrong.
All right. All right. So, Tunde, now, based on all this that happened, there have been talks that this was the same way that Napoli disrespected Osimhen, and you know how the entire thing ended. Do you think that this is also the start of that kind of disrespect for Ademola Lookman from Atlanta?
I think so. Absolutely, I do think so. Because even though Tosin is technically right about, if there's a penalty taker, the penalty taker is on the pitch, let him take it. That is true. But in football, in sports generally, and even in life, star players have certain liberties. That is just the simple truth. It happens in every sport. It happens everywhere. Even in the workplace. There are some people that you can do something, but if you do it, they will sack you. So don't try it. Star players have certain liberties because why? They've built that cachet, because they've built that level of trust. What Lookman has done from last season to now this season, you're telling me the best player in Africa cannot want to take a penalty? Because of who? Because of Matteo Retegui and Charles Di Catalan. Di Catalan did not know what he was doing with his life last year. If not that God decided to just help him this year and give him, sprinkle a bit of form. Matteo Retegui, wonder kid at 25. He just they make up. Break out. Italy have a new young striker, a middle-aged man.
Like Rashford.
These are the people that you are saying that Lookman should be afraid of. Lookman is the identity of this team. He is their best player. I'm not saying this just because I'm Nigerian. And for this, Retegui is the top scorer in Serie A. Yes. But Lookman is the best player of this team. Everybody knows this. The Catalan has also had a great season. Everybody knows this. There is no problem with your best player wanting to take a penalty. Even if he misses it, that's why he's your star guy. And certainly, you should never, ever, ever, as a coach, go out and speak to the media and say your best player is the worst penalty taker of all time and he should never have taken it because he also misses penalty in training. Gianpiero Gasperini is a very old man. I expected that with that elderly, with all those greys, I thought that there would be a lot more wisdom and poise and composure. But obviously, running up the numbers does not mean that you will develop in the head as much as you should have. Because like that's just the simple truth. Like I don't think that I'm not think of an instance because I'm sure he has. I'm sure Messi has missed a crucial penalty or two. I'm not saying Lookman is on Messi's level.
Nobody. The penalty that he missed in 2012 that I'm still thinking about against Chelsea.
So why did Pep Guardiola not come out and say Messi should not have taken that penalty? It's Messi. He's our best player. He wants to take a penalty. Let him take the penalty. It really is that simple. Like I don't know why. Again, I feel like Gasperini is only able to say this because it's easier to. I don't want to make this a race thing or a nationality thing. It's just easier to disrespect Nigerian players. We saw it with what Napoli did with Osimhen. We are seeing it now with Lookman. What you've done does not matter. I think. What have you done for me lately, business? In that same game, Atalanta's captain, the captain of the team, Rafael Toloi, was acting like a thug. The only thing not is to throw up gang signs. He was acting like a thug. He collected one of the most shameful red cards. In fact, it was shameful because he tried to throw the ball at the person he missed. He tried to throw the ball at his opponent. He missed. He swung for the opponent. He missed the game. Like, he was not, the referee just set him up for intent. Not because he would do it. It's not that your intention is not good. The coach just sit down to talk about though is the player that has carried you on his back, that scored the hat-trick in the Europa League final and has carried that form into this season. I think that yes, so it has to do with the fact that he is who he is. I don't think that if Retegui took that penalty and missed it, we'll be having this conversation. Again, I'm not blaming the coach for having such feelings. You can have that feeling, just that as a man that was alive before the internet,
when they were still
he was alive. He used the abacus. I can bet more that Gasperini used abacus growing up. He was he watched with Chamberlain. I'm sure he watched with Chamberlain. There's no, as someone like, you should not say that to the press after the game. I don't care. He's an experienced manager. He's an elderly person. He should not come out and say it after the game in such tone and like it's the worst penalty taker I've ever seen, like, because he missed the penalty. So what did he say when he scored the hat-trick? What did he say when he has contributed over 20 goals this season already, despite being injured for so long? So I personally think that he's being disrespected, and all of this will end this summer. I've always said Lookman should have left immediately after the Europa League final. That should have been his last season at the club. He decided to stay because we like to form loyalty. No, I don't see him remaining at this club much longer. The same thing with Osimhen. These players give their all for these clubs, and the first chance the clubs get, it is disrespect. Look at how Osimhen was treated. Look at how Kvaratskhelia was treated. Kvaratskhelia is the definition of a 6-month wonder boy, and has been living on that reputation on his first 6 months at Napoli. First 6 months at Napoli, he was basically Diego Maradona reborn. The remaining 24 months that he spent at the club, he and Rashford na like this. But everybody, for whatever reason, still rates him based on the reputation of his first 6 months. He left the club amicably. They still sold him for 70 million to Paris Saint-Germain. But Osimhen is, he has to leave unceremoniously. He's having issues with the management for a player that won you your first league. Come on, what are we talking about here? So it's easier to disrespect Nigerian players. That's what I see it.
All right. So, Tosin, same question to you. Do you think that this is going that same route of disrespect that Osimhen got from Napoli?
I think obviously this is the beginning of the end for Lookman at Atalanta.
Thank God you agree with me.
But however, the circumstances kind of vary. But the one common denominator is that we know Italians, we know their flavor. And we know their flavor. They give it to you.
What?
They give it to you. It's not, they don't, they speak with a lot of passion.
Oh,
and
okay.
other components that surround it, which we cannot obviously see on this show.
Did you say Flavor, the musician, is Italian?
There's a flavor that comes with being Italian.
Labania.
and you see that expressed in the way they actually show their emotion. And obviously, as a Nigerian, as an African man, those kind of outbursts are very, very much coated with that kind of flavor. However, while I said that the premise of the argument is that Lookman was wrong, and I still stand on that. Lookman was wrong. We've seen this in certain. We saw the situation with Neymar and Cavani a couple of years ago, where Neymar said he wants to take penalty. Cavani said, "Who are you? I'm the penalty taker." You understand? And eventually, we got to hear reports that it was stipulated in Neymar's contract that he will be taking the penalties. If Lookman knew he wanted, he should have amended his contract and insert penalty taker there. Make or miss, you'll be the one taking it. You understand? The tenor in which Gasperini spoke is actually what made me know that, okay, talk to your agent, Ademola Lookman. You are wrong in this situation, but talk to your agent so that everybody can part ways in the next 3 months amicably, or maybe not amicably, as long as they get the money they want. The tenor in which Gasperini spoke about Ademola Lookman, I do not appreciate it. Most Nigerians do not appreciate it, and I find it actually it's not surprising to me as a Nigerian following the Italian league and the kind of flavor they throw out there.
Why do I think that when you use the word flavor, you have?
I have to use the word flavor. The flavor they use in Italy is not surprising to me, but I have to say, even that one I'm shocked because, as Ademola Lookman rightly, as Tunde rightly pointed out, Ademola Lookman has been their best player this season, and by far, without a shadow of a doubt. And whatever problems you may seem to have, you could have kept it out. You could have actually condemned him in private, behind closed doors. Why are you taking him? It's not your responsibility. Like I said, you can't go and tell the coach to start cooking for the players. That's not his job. But the way it was handled already lets me know, obviously, there's a little bit of disconnect between Ademola Lookman, the team, and the people in charge. And when that kind of situation happens, it's best to leave before they tarnish his reputation in its entirety. Ademola Lookman still has a little bit of good leverage because even in this game, he was the one that scored the goal that kind of gave them a little bit of life. But before his reputation is fully damaged and in tatters, at the end of this season, find an amicable way to depart Atalanta and hopefully he's able to go to a bigger club and continue his ambitions to be one of the best players in the world.
Thank you. Well, it's an auspicious day because for the very first time in a long time, Tunde and Tosin have agreed on something, which is that Lookman was indeed disrespected by the coach, even though Tosin insists that he was wrong to take the penalty when he was not the designated penalty taker. But what about you guys? What do you think? Do you think this is the start of the same kind of disrespect that Victor Osimhen received from Napoli, or is just a once-in-a-lifetime kind of thing? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. I am Jimmy Anishilowo, and this is Crossfire, brought to you by Live Score Bets.